it don't really matter to me at the end of the day.
No, Red Dead has taught me how to play poker, and I'm learning how to play dominoes through Red Dead.
Yeah, he finna go to Compton, hit up Kendrick, be like, "Hey, play some dominoes, boy."
You play some dominoes.
Clack clack
The
clack
crib that you from? Boo boo.
clack. You be shooting dice with them too.
Nah.
Say it again.
Pass on that ass.
Yeah, I call Gator on that. Oh
What
man.
up? What up?
I was trying to figure out why you hitting on me.
I didn't.
All right,
You hit me
let's,
first.
let's do this bottle episode real quick. Bottle episode thing real quick.
Nah, we can't do it real quick.
All right, well, let's do it then. Come on.
So you gotta tell them how this started.
The Ringer wrote a thing about the Ringer wrote a thing about bottle episodes, and me and they was like, "Oh, bottle episode, that's cool." I don't really agree with their list. It feels like a very
That's
white person
cool.
centric list. Then again, so was mine. But
Exactly. Nigga.
so then I was like, "But I think we should do our own because that's an interesting concept." So we did. All
So I
right.
got a 4-4 and nothing. Okay. Yeah, so we got our own list. And when I first came up with mine, I was like, I don't know if this is I just don't know.
He's a
I,
10.
I didn't know if most of them were bottle because we had the whole conversation about what is a bottle episode. And I didn't know if most of mine were. I was like, we're just gonna see. So I just wrote down 10 and I got 2 with asterisks by them because I'm not sure.
Before we go into that, here's a few I have in like honorable mentions that didn't make my 10, or either didn't make my 10 because they weren't eligible or good enough, or because I figured you were going to cover them. But I won't mention the ones you think you're going to cover. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 6, episode 14, Older and Far Away, great one. Like a demon puts a spell on the house, and all the main characters are stuck inside Buffy's house, and they have to deal with their relationship issues and hash it out. It's a great episode. Clear, The Walking Dead, where Morgan shows back up
Oh,
style.
bitch.
Oh, it's on yours?
Yeah.
All right, well then I won't talk about it.
Well, you already did. It's fine.
No, that's an honorable mention, so I'm gonna keep it moving. I thought you wouldn't mention it. Total Recall, which is a Rick and Morty episode where they're in the house and like a parasite gets in that affects their minds and like brings up like creatures that says they're in their memories but they really aren't. It's a really interesting sci-fi concept, really cool. 4 Days Out, Breaking Bad. It's hmm, yeah, Jesse and Walt go about 4 days out from Albuquerque, New Mexico, into like the middle of nowhere to make meth, like a lot of it, to take it back to sell. And then they realize
Gosh.
once they get out there, they're in an RV. Jesse Pinkman realizes he didn't put that his battery isn't charged well or something, and it runs out. Um, and then they're stuck out there. They can't walk back or else they'll die because of the blazing heat. And so they have to figure out a way how to get the meth back to Albuquerque and recharge the battery in their car. All that good stuff. And it's just like a great encapsulation of everything the show does well. Take on Me, Degrassi, The Next Generation. Remember that episode, Nick?
Ah, that's fire. I didn't even think about
That's a
that.
great bottle episode. Honorable mention.
That's a great bottle episode.
Basically a riff on the Breakfast Club from some of the characters from the Degrassi episode. They all stuck in Saturday detention and they hang out at the school. Really good, really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Had Teddy Perkins in the honorable mention, but you probably gonna mention that.
Why would you? That ain't an honorable mention. That's the best bottle episode ever.
I put it there because I figured you would
Wrong with
mention
this
it, so I
nigga?
didn't want to be redundant. There's currently a problem, which is You're the Worst, which is they're all at Jimmy's house and all the characters just show up one by one and they all just kind of hang out and deal with some kind of issue. I forget what it was, but it's very funny. It's a great episode of We Are the Worst. And then final honorable mention, which is 11 on my top 10, No Justice, No Peace from Martin.
What episode is that?
That's the episode where Martin gets the traffic ticket and he goes to court.
I don't know if that's a bottle
That's
episode.
definitely a bottle episode.
It's not a bottle
in
episode.
the courtroom.
That's not a damn bottle
No, it's
episode.
not. They get the ticket and they immediately go to court, and that's the whole episode stays there.
It's not a bottle
That's definitely a
episode.
bottle episode, and I think it's the
Hey, I'm gonna have something that I don't know either, so hey, I'll give it to you. Whatever.
that's the fun. I think it's the funniest episode of Martin. I think it's genius writing. I think it's
Funniest
one of the
episode,
funniest
man.
sitcom episodes ever, and I really love that episode of Martin. It's probably my favorite. Period. I think it's genius top to bottom, and I tried to find some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air bottle episodes, but I couldn't find any of that.
Oh man, I didn't think about Fresh Prince. I can give you some.
I was thinking about the one where Will gets stuck with his date in that closet when everybody
And,
else goes.
yeah, for the earthquake.
Yeah, but I was like, that ain't a bottle because they do cut out of it, and it does. I don't know if that's a bottle episode because it's Will and a new character. It's not like Will with other people on the show. That just takes place in the house. So, oh fuck, forgot about this one. I'm gonna add it right now. It's not gonna be on my 10, but I love this episode. The episode of hold on, I'll find it. You got any honorable mentions while I'm looking?
Well, I don't know about honorable. I have 12. I don't know how. I don't know about
Just
honorable
do
mentions.
12 and 11. Those are honorable mentions.
I have two that I had asterisks by, and they're both from the same show, The Walking Dead. One is Consumed with Daryl and Carolyn. They go back to Atlanta, and it's just them,
Oh,
and they track down Tyler James Williams' character.
oh yeah, that's a good one.
I like, but it's all in Atlanta. It's only those two, and I think about the music on the episode is fire, and it's just about Daryl and Carol. And you don't get a lot of that. And then another from The Walking Dead, This Sorrowful Life, when they were deciding to give Merle to the governor or not.
Mm.
And the whole episode was Rick trying to figure out, do I sacrifice this life? And everybody was talking to Merle and trying to see where he was in terms of the group. And
Yeah.
then he takes Michonne, and she was like, we can just go back. He was like, I can't go back. You understand? He's like, how many people you killed during all this? He was like 13 men. She was like, how many before? And he didn't answer because it was none.
Mm-hmm.
And how that world changed him. I love that episode, and it's all in it's in like two rooms of the place of the prison. Like it's that area where Daryl is. Then they all like discussing, and then he takes Michonne. I'm not sure if that's a bottle, but I kind of consider that. I don't know. I just love that episode.
Okay.
So
here was one.
Those are the two I didn't know about.
Gotcha. This is one I added to my honorable mentions. I don't know if you had it. The episode of Boy Meets World, and then there was Sean. Did you have that in your
That's a
top
good
10?
one. That's a good one.
Huh?
I didn't have that one.
Yeah, that's one I immediately thought of. I was trying to think outside of the box. I was like, that's a great bottle episode. It all takes place in the school. It's just the main principal characters together, or the kids and Feeney, and it's just like a fun, like Halloween themed episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a really fun. All right, I'm ready to do top 10. We can go 10, 10, 9, 9, so on and so forth.
Yep.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I don't have mine in any order, but I'll get them as we go.
So you want me to go first while you get in order?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm doing number 10. Mine is The Suitcase on Mad Men.
Great.
I've only seen everybody mention that damn one, and then I saw that clip from it I sent to y'all when she was like, and you never say thank you, like, and that's what the money's for. I love that scene because it encapsulates him and her. She's whining and he's a leader.
All right. That's nice. She did leave and like run another company. And
yeah, but barely.
She's the future.
But barely.
He's an old man. Time's passing him by.
I just
Yeah, great episode. Great dig into like Don and Peggy's relationship.
Yep.
I mean I don't know how you feel, but for me, a bottle episode is kind of like an episode you can just pop out and show to someone who's never seen the show and be like, this kind of has everything that makes this show special and wonderful in it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I picked Consumed and Sorrowful, This Sorrowful Life for The Walking Dead.
Yeah, similar to me to all the honorable mentions I had, like the Martin episode. I just think it's all the characters in the episode. They're all just in the same place, riffing off each other, being funny. Martin is just like being his most Martin self. It's great, and like all the episodes do that. So yes, that's kind of how my criteria is. Like, one, it's a great episode. Two, it's kind of isolated and can be taken out as a singular piece, and it's small scale, like we talked about, and like it feels like it encapsulates everything that makes the show special. Same with like the Degrassi episode and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I can probably think
of the World episode too. Yeah,
I can probably think of a lot more, Mad Men episodes if I really thought about it. Yep. You could do the is the Muhammad Ali one on The Suitcase?
That is, I think that's the one. That's
okay. Okay, you could probably do the MLK one.
I don't think it was a bottle because it takes place all over.
Well, I'm saying the episodes
Oh yeah, for
that
sure.
I love. But yeah, you're gonna deal number 10.
The Phantom. Great episode.
Which one was the Phantom?
The Phantom was the final episode of season 5. I think where they find Lane's body.
Oh, I love that
And
episode.
and they're dealing with the fallout of Peggy leaving, and they just got Jaguar after what Christina Hendricks did. Joan did.
Right.
Number 10, American Bitch from Girls. There's another bottle episode, season 2, that's mentioned on the Ringer episode, One Man's Trash, which is a great episode. And only reason I didn't pick that one is because it was already picked. And that's the one most people reference when they talk about a great bottle episode up from Girls. But American Bitch is a great one from the final season, which doesn't get talked about that much. Which weird because I think the best seasons of Girls are season 1 and the final season. Very strange. But American Bitch is essentially just Hannah goes to speak with like an author who she's a fan of, who has been accused of sexual misconduct, and she's interviewing him for a magazine. And she has to get over the fact she's like, I'm a big fan of your writing. I've been a fan of you since college, yada yada. But also, I feel weird talking to you now based on this young lady who wrote this big blog post about what you did. And essentially, the whole episode is just her in his apartment, and they have a conversation about why he thinks she's lying or miscommunicated why she thinks what he did was sexual misconduct. And she's like trying to defend this girl who she hasn't met. And she's like, yeah, I haven't met her, but she wouldn't have said these things if they weren't true, yada yada. And it's kind of a dialogue about like dealing with being a fan of someone while also them defending like what I did wasn't what they said I did. It's really fascinating. But then at the very end, I'm gonna spoil it because you're probably not gonna watch it. But it's a great episode. Everyone should watch it. At the very end of the episode, the author pulls out his dick to Hannah, to Lena Dunham's character, and she grabs it, she touches it, and she holds
I remember
it.
this. I remember this.
We talked about this. He whips it out, and she just grabs it, and so it's this messy thing of like, oh, I guess he is the guy she said he was, but also is Lena Dunham or Hannah, the character, complicit in it because she grabbed it? In some way she kind of wanted it because she was attracted to him because of how much she loved his work. So is she wrong for essentially doing this thing for him, or is he wrong for doing it in the first place? So a lot of interesting questions, but it's great. All takes place in one apartment over like the course of an interview. That's it.
Yeah. That's a good one. From what I've heard.
You should check it out. It's short, sweet. You never need to have watched the show to understand what it's about.
Are you ready for number 9? Mine ain't in no order, but I'm just gonna put them in as I go.
Sure, go ahead.
Barbershop on Atlanta.
You consider that a bottle episode?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
It takes place. I mean, they go a few different places,
but that's a great episode. Yeah, I agree.
But it's only with 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's only with him and his barber. I just love it, and I just something keeps getting in the way.
It's so real, ain't it? I felt so seen by that episode. I was like, damn, this is real. This is like real relatable.
That's real for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And then then at the end he gets tired of it. He gives him his cut, but then when he goes back the next time, he goes with somebody else, and you just feel that kind of like betrayal because we all been there like on a Saturday when your barber one day you have to go to somebody else. You're like, man, I don't want to do this shit, but he made the choice to go to somebody else. But then his barber saw it.
Yeah, but also what's great about that ending is he's like, "What do you want?" He's like, "So, bro, what you want?" And he can't even articulate it.
Yeah.
He's always had the same barber, so his barber would just know like, "Oh, you want the fade here? You want the little part? Whatever you wanted."
Yeah.
And then now he has to like build another relationship with this new person that he has to now explain what he needs to this guy. So like, I was like, "Oh, I feel that too." It was like, yeah, that's a great episode.
It's like his barber knew the whole time what he wanted. Then you got to go to the other, and you do have to tell the other barber what you want. And you don't even, we were like, I don't even know how to articulate. He just knows, like.
But I mean, that's that's like a stand-in just for relationships in general, though. Just the intimacy, the things you're willing to put up with just to have that kind of casual intimacy with someone.
Yeah, and it's somebody who's doing something like a haircut, but it's so important.
Yeah, and so intimate. They can really mess up like your look. You have to trust them to do that.
Yeah, and he did because he got him mid-cut, and then he took him out into the world, and people was like, "Oh, you look crazy," and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
He's like, "I mean, he looking crazy," and so
it's like one of the funniest episodes of Atlanta. It's so funny.
I love that episode, man.
Got you.
Lots and lots and lots.
All right. My number 9 is Midnight Doctor Who. uh, Great episode. The Doctor and his companion go to a spa thing, and then the Doctor leaves his companion while she goes to her spa. He goes on like a tour on a boat, not a boat, on a like a bus, like a space bus, and some kind of weird alien creatures on the outside of the space bus, and they don't know what it is. And so you never leave the bus, right? You don't know what the alien creature looks like because there's no windows in the bus, and it's just him and a bunch of strangers he doesn't know. And because he doesn't have his companion or any of his devices to like travel through time or do special stuff, nobody believes that he knows what he's talking about. So he's like, "I'm the doctor. I know how to fight monsters. I know how to protect people." And people are like just don't trust him, so they become paranoid. They be like, "Oh, you're the doctor. You know all this, so you must be causing this." And it's like this weird paranoia trip where they almost killed the doctor just to be like, "Well, the monster outside must want you because you know so much about it." And like it's like this paranoid thing about like it grows and grows. Like the doctor is trying to get people to be compassionate. Like the monster wants to eat one of them or something, and he's like, "We can't let them do this." And they're like, "What do you mean we can't? Like it's gonna eat all of us if we don't let him do that." Like it's kind of the boat issue on like the Dark Knight, but it's really fascinating. And then at the end of the episode, one of the people get ate, and then and then the bus goes back to the harbor. And then the doctor is like, "I couldn't help them. I couldn't do anything. Me being clever didn't stop this thing from happening, and I was basically useless because nobody was able to trust me. That's why I need companions to be like, no, to vouch for me whenever I get in these situations." So it's just a good, like, really tense, small little episode. Okay, that's it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good stuff. Damn, I'm gotta kill all these fucking people. Sorry. All right, my next one. Where I'm going next? I'll just do this one. A day, love.
Uh,
I know you love this one.
yeah,
Um, that's a that's an episode you've talked about a lot. I love it as well. And I was making my list. I was like, I kind of do. I just was going through the shows I love, and I thought about that. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's a really good one. Like,
mm,
it's Gus and Mickey, and they just spend a day and spontaneous stuff happen as they open up to like things in their past,
mm-hmm,
right? And just problems that they have.
yeah,
And it's all in a day, and they go to the beach and they just do all these different things. It's just a wonderful episode. It's just them two, and they going around. It's nobody else. I don't think. I ain't watched it in a while. I need to rewatch that episode.
I rewatched it recently, so it's still great.
Uh, but yeah, a really. You know what? I was tempted to put on Marty
Marty
Dobbs
Dobbs, yeah, uh,
fire episode. I do think I consider that a bottle episode.
I don't know.
Maybe not as strongly as the other ones. I think bottle can come in different phases
I, I,
or forms. Rather.
I think there's a reason why comedy shows tend to have a lot of bottle episodes and the best ones too, because most comedies kind of are always bottle episodes, but especially when they're condensed down, you know.
You know.
Because like when you're watching like an hour long drama, especially these days, they're all about plot, so they're just trying to get to the next story beat, so they don't really have time to slow down and tell a story isolated from everyone else. At least not these days. But yeah, my number 8 was also a day from Love. Great episode. Rewatching it, I realized one, there's two things I just want to mention real quick, and then we keep moving since you said a bunch. Um, I loved the filmmaking, like the direction. I think that episode was directed by Lynn Shelton, R.I.P., who passed away recently. Um, Great filmmaker. But the filmmaking is not intrusive. It doesn't get in the way of anything. It's just showcasing them on this day. Nothing, no conflict really happens. She runs into an ex at the movie theaters, I believe, yeah, and that's about it. And it's not even a big issue. It's just kind of like, hey, how you doing? This is weird, seeing each other, yada yada. But so much of that episode, especially in the writing, is about like conversations not had or questions asked that don't get answered. And there's stuff that they talk about on that episode in a day that never really gets fulfilled later on. Like he mentions like she asks Gus, "What's the worst thing you ever done?" He says a thing, and she's like, "Oh, you haven't done anything as bad as I have," and she never says what she did. So you never get that payoff. She even mentions her. She mentions her mom. You never meet her mom on the show, Mickey's mom. So it's just an episode about like the kind of like casual conversations when you're getting to know someone, and the like.
It's an episode about like all the things that they have yet to be honest with each other about.
But it's not even like they're not even
or
revealing
that you go
things.
to really find out about. Because, like you said, you just don't find out. It's no follow up to some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's basically just it's the first time in the entire show, and it's like halfway through the second season where they're actually just going on a regular date talking about like their life and what they're interested in, and it's really really fascinating. And it ends with like a really great sex scene, which is like really beautiful and touching. Weirdly,
Does it? I missed that.
yeah,
I ain't seen that episode in a while now.
it starts. They wake up in bed and they kind of have sex, like
You can get it.
just like chilling sex, and they have breakfast and they go out and it comes back and it's like the music's playing and it's a really like sensual sex scene where she's like riding him and stuff. It's really beautiful. It's like not. It's not. I'm serious. It's not played for jokes. It's not like funny. It's like they're like deeply connected. You know, very good. All right, you can go with your seven.
I had Clear, but you already mentioned that one. But that's just on The Walking Dead. Rick, Carl, and Michonne go to this town, or Rick and Carl's old town, and they found that it's been like hijacked, I guess, by somebody, and they found out it's Morgan from season one, and it's like season three. He ain't been seen since, and he's like a recluse, and he's going crazy. His son has been killed. He already lost his wife, so he's going crazy in there by himself. And he keeps saying clear because all you got to do is clear, like you just kill and keep going, right?
Yeah.
And he got all this ammunition, all these booby traps. He tries to kill Rick, and then he asks him like, "Where have you been? I called for you," because they had these walkie talkies back during season one, and he never and he stopped checking after all. He said we got pushed farther and farther away from the city. It wasn't picking up, and he was like, "I called for you, and nobody was there." So Rick feels guilty. Meanwhile, Carl and Michonne are going to get this bassinet because Carl knows he has a little sister that he needs to take care of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Michonne helps him because she wants them to trust her, as she just got there not too while ago, or not too long ago. Yeah, it's a great episode, and you see Merle again. Then you don't see him for a while again, and you know it's a wonderful episode. It only involves those three characters, well, four if you consider Morgan. It's great. Just a great episode of TV.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Number seven, Tabula Rasa from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't know if people consider this a bottle episode, but I do. There's an episode. It's basically somebody uses magic that goes awry, and it causes the entire cast of Buffy when they're in the magic shop to lose their memory while a demon's chasing them. And so it's very funny. It's mostly a funny episode, but they all forget who they are and they all kind of piece together like bits of relationship based on what they're wearing and who they are and where they are at the time. You know, it's just a basically a commentary on like the constructions of like who these characters are and what they represent and how easily they could change based on arbitrary things like who they end up with or who they were next to in the moment. But then also it's about like how intrinsically they are always who they are. You know, Willow loses her memory, thinks she's straight, but then realizes she's attracted to the girl she was in a relationship with anyway. But she just didn't remember, but she still felt things for her. So it's like it's a really interesting episode, very funny, great, great, great episode. All right, that's it.
Hell yeah, yeah. No, you had to get some Buffy in there, didn't you?
Love Buffy.
Where are we? Six.
Six, yeah.
See what I got. I got that one. That one. Okay. Number six is Brian and Stewie from Family Guy. It's where they go to the vault in the bank and they get locked in, and they're there for the night. And all they have is a gun and some booze and a book, I think. And it's ultimately Brian's like goodbye if he ever wanted to kill himself. He would just go to the vault, have one last drink, and then he shoot himself.
I heard people mention this episode. I
It's
thought,
Stewie and It's only Stewie and Brian. It's like an hour. It's no
yeah,
music.
yeah, that's a great episode.
It's fine. It's amazing. But oddly enough, it's not the best bottle episode of Family Guy. And I'm gonna get to that later.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I feel like I know what you're gonna do.
so yeah, it's that one. And they just talk, and then Brian has to eat Stewie's shit because he shit himself. He ain't got no way to change his diaper, and he can't just have it on there.
Hmm.
And that was weirdly intimate, but also disgusting. And Brian does it, and then they just kind of like go through their emotions, and then they accidentally shoot a bullet, and it triggers around the room, and they just get under the table and just wait it out. Then in the morning when it opens back up, they just wake up and the door opens and they just leave. And it's no music, it's quiet, and it just goes away. And that's how the episode ends. And they just leave the vault.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. It's one of my favorite Family Guy episodes. Dang it, I forgot about one. And then there were fewer.
Yeah, that's the one I thought you were going to mention later.
That ain't the one. But damn, that would definitely would have made this cut. I'll put that as honorable mention. That episode is fire. I ain't even got much to say about that one. But
That's a fun one.
yeah. So damn, this nigga just walked up on me. But so yeah, that's about number 6. Brian and Stewie.
Okay. My number 6 is Mornings, Master of None.
Oh, I got that on here too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just wait on you to get to it.
No, go ahead.
Damn, why did I do that? No, it's just it's great. It's great in a lot of the same ways that A Day is great from Love, but also it's over an extended period of time. It's just the kind of minor things that make relationships, especially when you move in together. Uh, really beautiful, really well told, really well acted. Noelle Wells is great. Aziz is real good, but I think Noelle is what makes it really stand out. There is conflict, but it's nothing too crazy. Um, it's really just a nice episode about two people who are trying to make it work together, which is just lovely to see. And also, I love the conceit of like using the same shot but in different times of the year to communicate. The passage of time. It's just that clock, and then the outside you see snow, and then you see a time and a date, and then you understand like they've been there another month, and you see how the relationship subtly changes, not by much, but it does just little by little. And I think,
Yeah.
and I think like I think the reason why a lot of the best bottle episodes and really best TV writing in general, honestly, is from comedy is because they're able to do stuff like they do here in Mornings, which is just take an episode or take an episode or two and just like isolate and talk about a very specific moment or part of something. Um, there's probably another Master of None episode that I would have mentioned, but I assume you would, so I didn't put it on there. But this is probably my favorite episode of the entire show. Definitely my favorite bottle episode of the show.
Yeah. That's definitely up there for me. I'll put that as my number 5 since you already mentioned it. But yeah, that was one of those first episodes of that show, and I was like, wow, this show is next level. I hope it's not done. Man, I really hope the show ain't over.
I think it's OV.
I'm praying it's not. I at least need one more season. Give me 3, and then you can say, all right, cool.
I think Aziz done. I think that's
Love got 3, man. This shit better get 3.
I don't think it's an issue of like Netflix not want to do. I think Aziz like I'm straight.
I know Aziz doing it, and I'm like, just give me one more, bro. Chill.
He's like I'm out here trying to rebuild my career. Anyway,
He already did that. He put out a special with Spike Jones. He good.
great special too. So that was your number 6 or your number 5? What?
I think it was at number 5.
No, that was my 6.
Well, that was my 5 then.
Oh, okay. So then my 5 is Chicanery from Better Call Saul. And what's so great about this episode is, so I love lawyer shows. I have since I was a kid. And this is essentially probably the single best episode of a lawyer television show, period, in terms of like purely the litigation, because it's an episode that all takes place for the most part in a one courtroom, and it's about litigating whether or not Jimmy McGill, aka Saul Goodman, is going to lose his law license for good. And the whole thing is just the litigation between Kim Wexler, Saul, and the board of appeals, essentially for the bar or whatever. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's amazing. It's just all smart people talking about case law and trying to plead their case for why this should happen and this shouldn't and this and that. It's phenomenal. It's like the best television. The first time I saw it, which was really recently, I was just like, I don't know if like I've seen a better episode of dramatic television since Home Catch Fire that is this good. Like Home Catch Fire.
At the Ringer had a video where they said "Halt and Catch Fire" was the best written show on television.
I disagree. I think it's the second best. I think Mad Men is the best written show, and I think Home Catch Fire is the second.
Well, they didn't say all time. They meant right now.
Oh, when it was on?
Yeah.
Better Call Saul or Home Catch Fire?
Better Call Saul.
Okay, I thought you said Home Gets Fire. Oh yeah, definitely for sure. And this show is a testament to that. I mean, this episode, Chicanery, is a testament to that. So well written, and it has all the characters in one place. It just has them doing what they do best, and it's phenomenal. It's just having great conversations and pleading their case. And it does the thing that I love, which is just smart litigation on the show. And they don't do enough of it, I don't think. They do a lot of like paperwork stuff in terms of lawyering, like, meeting with clients and setting up appeals and, working on property law. But this is very much to some degree, a criminal case showcased on the show. It's phenomenal. And I really don't think there's a better drama on television right now, especially with an episode like this. Probably the best of the show. Okay, so what's number five?
Yeah. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I ain't heard one from you, but you still might. Who knows? But you ready for mine?
Your number what? Four?
I think so. Let me count it up.
Yeah, number four.
That one. That one. Yeah, I got four left. All right, so my number four is going to be Thanksgiving from Master of None.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Great
Fire, fire episode. Take place over the course of some years, but it's all the same place. Um, Angela Bassett, working on an Aziz Ansari show was crazy when we first, saw that was going to be, what it was. Um, Written by Lena Waithe, still her best written thing to date. Still, she hasn't done better.
Mm.
It's the pinnacle of her short career. Maybe she will one day. Who knows?
A lot of people like Queen and Slim.
Okay, it ain't better than Thanksgiving.
I mean, it might be.
It ain't better than her work as an actress on Master of None.
Mm.
I just love everything about Master of None. But anyway, yeah, her growing up and her Aziz character Dev coming over to a Black Thanksgiving and them being friends. Her exploring her sexuality with the mother and grandmother. Then as she gets older, bringing home a date, two different dates, and Aziz still being there throughout the whole thing. It's funny, it's poignant, it's heartwarming. Maybe the best episode of that show. I have personal favorites, but as a episode, I'm not sure is anything better.
A lot of people agree with that.
Huh?
A lot of people agree with that.
Yeah. Just a great episode, and it's all centered around one holiday, and it's fire. I remember first watched, I was like, man, what was that? That episode was ridiculous. But yeah, that's my number four. Thanksgiving from Master of None.
Great episode. All right.
Yeah.
Number four, The Suitcase by Mad Men. You already said what need to be said, so I think love it.
All right, we'll move on to mine then. This is number three, and it's Woods from Atlanta. Now I
thought you said it wasn't.
When I said it,
I thought we talked about it. You said it wasn't a bottle.
I don't remember saying.
I swear we talked about this, and you said it wasn't a bottle episode. But
I was about to say we had some deliberation on this yesterday, and I came to the realization, even if I did say that or not, fine. But I came to the realization it is. This episode, huh?
Did you rewatch it or something?
No, I just thought about
it. Okay.
I've seen it enough to remember it. This because you said something yesterday that messed with me. You was like, it ain't it has nothing to do with like the central story or whatever. And I was like, you didn't watch this episode then, because like this episode is so important. You open it up with Paperboy laying on the couch and his mother is there, but she's dead, right?
Yeah, sorry.
Turn that shit off.
My phone went off.
His mother is dead, but she's in the house and she like, boy, you gotta get up. And he's not saying nothing back. And then you realize, oh, his mother's been gone a while. So that's a manifestation. That's in his mind. He misses his mother and he's depressed. And she was like, boy, you got to get up. That means you got to go live your life. You can't keep harping on this. Because what has he done up to this point? He has a little buzz. He's known in that area, right, as a rapper, but he ain't that known. He got a song on the radio, but he's not that big. He could be better. Really, all he does is play video games and sell weed, right? And he's still trapping or whatever. And she was like, you have to get more out of this life. And that's again, she's like, whoop, son, she said, you gotta get up. And he's just laying there, he's sad, he's depressed, because he hasn't gotten over it yet. So then you go forward with him and old girl from IG. and she's like trying to tell him like, how you gotta be, what you gotta wear. He like, I ain't about all that. I ain't about all that rapper famous stuff. She said, but you are famous, and you have to start accepting it, and then you have to start marketing it to make more money. She like, you can't dress like you still some dude from around the way because you ain't. She like, you are a rapper now, and people know you. That means you have to make the appearance. And so she's trying to tell him what to be, and he keeps denying it, right? Just like he denies that his mother's gone, even though she's gone in the physical, she's still her essence won't let him like be great because. And I'm not saying that that's a denigration on her, but like he hasn't gotten over it yet, and it's infiltrated every part of his life. That's why his music hasn't taken off yet because he's so depressed. All right. And so he leaves the girl after they have an argument because she trying to put him on the ground. He told her I ain't about all this stuff. He walk off. He get jumped by these three dudes who know him, and they're like, "You're Paperboy, right?" And they just jump him because like, hey, he's Paperboy, and that's when he realized like, I am famous, no, and it ain't enough to just be like, oh, I'm still a street dude. I still got the streets love me. The streets don't love you, and they're definitely gonna hold you down if they get a chance to, right? And so he goes to the woods. He runs from the guys, and then this guy approaches him and starts talking to him, and he says stuff. I can't remember what he was saying, but he was saying stuff like, he's like, you look just like your mother, all that kind of stuff. And this ain't a real dude, by the way. It's another manifestation. And then he's like, "Why are you leaving me? Like, why are you messing me? Go on." And then dude hold a knife to the neck, and you're like, "You gotta stop sitting around, boy." He said like because like damn, I can't remember like all the phrases, but it was so great. He was just like he held a knife to the neck, and Paperboy started crying, and he was just like like if you let life sit there and pass you by, you won't only regret it, you're gonna resent it, all that kind of good stuff. But he said it way better than I'm saying it now. And then Paperboy get up and run, and the dude is still standing in the same spot where he had the knife to his neck and still talking. And Paperboy runs. And the point of him being in the woods is because he's lost and he can't see the wood beyond the trees or whatever it's called. You know that phrase? You can't see the something beyond the trees. Yeah, you can't see the forest for the trees. He's in the forest. He's lost. And then that dude tell him like, you better wake up. Like you got a chance here, and you pissing it away. And he said, it ain't nobody's fault but your own. Stop feeling sorry for yourself and go do something with your life. And then he runs away and he gets out of the woods. He goes to he finally gets out and he's just like, oh, he just breathes a sigh of relief. He goes to the store, he gets to drink, and the dude notice him, and he has like leaves in his hair and he got a busted face. And the dude like, can I take a picture? He's like, yeah, man. And he does it. He finally gives in to that notion of like, you're a rapper. He finally gives in to, I have to do this because it's already started. It can change not just my life, but Ern's, Darius, everyone around me. He realized like, I can't sit here and feel sorry for myself because nobody else is going to, as he got beat up by them dudes. They don't care what you're going through. They're like, but you have to look out for yourself ultimately. And then it manifests itself in the next episodes. He starts to do more concerts, starts to do more shows, and then at the end he books that flight. He books that it's the European tour, and that all started with Woods because he was like, I have to take advantage of this operation, and that's why he starts watching Earn more prevalently because he's like, if you're not as serious about this as I am and making the best decisions, I can't allow you to bring me down. I have something special here. I need to take advantage of that. And that all happened because of Woods. He finally got direction in his life, and he was like, I have to do this, and I can't even feel bad because my mother's gone and be depressed. I have a real chance here to do something special. I have to take this, and if Earn ain't down 100%, 50%, he like, then he can't be my manager. And Earn proves to him through that. By the end, he was like, I need somebody who's gonna do whatever it takes. He said, "You my family, man." He said, "And I'm glad you're here." And because Ern finally proved himself, like I'm serious about this too. That all starts because of the Woods, and the Woods is about Paperboy, and it's a few other people in a few locations, but mostly it takes place in the Woods. That episode is a battle episode to me, and it's maybe the best episode of Atlanta, and it moves the story forward. That episode is perfect television.
Cool.
And you disrespectful. You need to go watch it again.
It's a great episode. I never argued that.
Man, that may be my favorite episode of that show, Atlanta. I might watch that today. That episode was amazing.
I
And
think
I can't remember what that dude say to him in the woods, but he had some great line. He was like, "Hey, you look just like your mother." It all, oh, it's perfect, dude.
yeah, Brian Tyree Henry, man. That's that dude. He's one of the guys, man.
He great.
Love him. That was your number 3.
That's my number 3. Yeah.
My number 3 is Goodwill, Halt and Catch Fire.
You gonna say something about it?
Yeah, it's a real sad episode about mourning. Somebody on the show died, and it's taking place right after that character's funeral, all in his house as they pack up his stuff, getting ready to send it to Goodwill. And just it's all about like his kids, his ex-wife, his friends, his family, all of them just coming together to mourn him while also looking through him and reevaluating like, oh, this is who this guy was. This is the music he listened to. These are the clothes he wore, and it's amazing. People reconcile, people don't. Beautiful. It's extremely well directed for just an episode with people talking in a house. It's one of the best directed episodes of TV ever.
You said it's about a funeral.
No, it's take okay. In the previous episode, a character dies. This episode takes place right after his funeral. So they're at his house like after the funeral, and they're packing up all his stuff in the house before they sell it. So they're going through his old clothes, his old albums, his old comic books, all that stuff, trying to figure out what they're going to keep and what they're going to give away, like the Goodwill. That's the name of the episode is Goodwill because they're taking the stuff to Goodwill, the stuff they're not keeping, and it's wonderful. So you have a scene where his two daughters talk about like missing their father and like why they loved him and why he was a nerd, but why they care for him anyway. You have like his best friend and work partner just specifically him. I mean, they all go through the various amounts of grief. His girlfriend shows up and just kind of freaks out and then leaves. But his best friend throughout the entire episode is like on the edge. You see him about to break, but he never cries. He never goes big emotion. But he's just like he doesn't want. He like tries to help as best he can, but he know he can't do enough because his friend's gone. His friend left his kids behind, his wife behind, all this stuff, and it's so sad, but it's so beautiful, and it's a perfect episode of television. For most people, they would say it's the best episode of Home Catch Fire. I disagree, but it's like the
I
whole final
disagree.
season of Home Catch Fire is just full of like 10 out of 10 episodes. So it is what it is. Okay.
Sounds wonderful. I'm surprised you ain't have more Halt and Catch on here.
Mm.
Mm.
All right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Send in Stewie, Please, Family Guy.
What is that? I don't remember.
This is a newer episode. It's when
Sentence.
Stewie goes to this psychiatrist's office, and it's just them two the whole episode. His name is like Dr. Pritchfield or something like that.
Oh, I saw someone mention this.
And Stewie goes in there, and he just like bears his soul. He lets you listen to his real voice. It ain't the voice he's been using. He cries, and then he like breaks the doctor down in terms of his whole life, and the doctor's gay. And Stewie tell him about his boyfriend and all of his insecurities. And then the he asked him like one question after like it was like 10 minutes of like Stewie masterfully breaking down this dude's relationship based off a picture. And then the dude asked him like one question like, "Why are you so sad?" And Stewie just break down and start crying, and they just have a whole conversation. Then at the end, he kills him because he's like, I can't trust you to not tell anybody about all this stuff I told you. So he poisons his water or Starbucks, kills him, and then he leaves. It's maybe my favorite episode of Family Guy ever. It comes out of nowhere, and I'm just like, wow. And it's Stewie and the doctor, and it's amazing. I love the part when he breaks down his relationship with the doctor with this guy. It's so perfect.
So
And
it's kind of like Goodwill Hunting.
Uh, I guess that might be their inspiration.
Hmm.
But I implore you to watch it. I don't know what season it's from. I'm gonna look that up when you do your number 2. But yeah, it's called Send In Stewie, Please. It's amazing episode. It's one of the newer. It's one of the best new episodes because we talk about Family Guy and how they new episodes how they just don't care. This one they care, and it's like it's apparent how much they like took their time on this one.
Hmm.
I love this episode so much.
Okay.
Oh, it's season 16, episode 12.
What's
It
the name
came
of
out.
it? What's the name of it again?
Send in Stewie, please.
Okay.
Says Stewie is sent into his school psychologist, Dr. Cecil Pritchfield, for a session during which he offers major revelations about himself that had never been told before. Came out in March of 2018. Episode's crazy.
Dope. Okay. No, my number 2 is season 2, episode 1, Fleabag.
It's called season 2, episode 1.
Well, no, they don't. they're all just called episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and then this is season 2, episode 1. So it doesn't have a name. But this I think is not only the best episode of Fleabag, one of the best episodes of TV probably ever. Like, if you want to look at how a piece of writing if you want to look at how a bottle episode can be written to the nth degree, like full of character, full of humor, full of drama, and full of conflict, it's next level. I can't even really explain it because it's nothing really happens. Fleabag goes to dinner with her family, her sister, her husband, her dad, her stepmom, all this stuff, and she meets Hot Priest, and they have a conversation, and essentially it's just like some stuff happens that causes some friction at the table. It's hilarious. It's so well written, and it's like all Fleabag has an undercurrent of sadness in the whole thing. It's perfect. If like if ever there was someone who's like, I don't watch I want to watch Fleabag, but I'm not sure, I would show them this episode. It's like, if you don't like this, I mean, this is just some of the best television. Period. I mean, the beginning alone is just like such a shock to the system. You're like, whoa, what is this show? And then it cuts back to like earlier that day. It's wonderful. But that's all I got to say. Perfect television.
So that's the best Fleabag episode.
It's Nate. That's the episode I would tell you to watch if you ever thought about watching Fleabag. Just watch that one. If you like it, then go back and start the whole thing.
Are we at my number one?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it was never in doubt, was it? You know what this is?
No, what is it?
It's Teddy Perkins, man. Atlanta. Come on, man.
Right.
It's the best bottle episode of TV. It's the best episode of TV I've seen. You know, I mean, Darius goes to the outer parts of Atlanta, or Georgia rather. I guess Atlanta. And he wants to buy this piano on Craigslist. He goes to this guy named Teddy Perkins, who is a Michael Jackson lookalike, you know, in terms of the skin, but you know, comes off very psychotic or you know, kind of deranged. He eats ostrich eggs or whatever it was. He leaves notes to himself. It's in a big mansion, right? He's like an acclaimed singer. Um, all the parallels of Michael Jackson are there. He got beat by his father, who wanted him to be the best. You know, I love the scene when Darius is like when he's telling Darius about his father, how demanding he was. He was like, I can imagine. He like, no, you can't. And like it's played up for laughs how he says it, but you can see the hurt behind it, like and how much pain he was in. He like, you have no idea how much scrutiny he was under, and like to be good. And it goes to the whole conversation of like, you know, what's allowed to for greatness. Like how much can you push somebody that's acceptable when you want them to be great, especially a child? And how much can you remove a child from childlike settings and environments in order to craft a prodigy? And what are the lasting effects on that? Well, it goes to something else when Darius calls his friends, you know, like, hey, this dude's kind of crazy. No, like, you better get out of there. You're like, no, man. I don't think he's like gonna do anything. It's kind of sad or whatever. Like, he wasn't really scared of him. He was just enamored, and he felt sympathy and empathy for him, which I think is great. And then, you know, it gets sadistic. Darius finds out that he has his brother like down in the lair or down in the attic or whatever, and he's stuck down there for years, and he's on like an IV. And then Darius tries to get out with the piano, and Teddy Perkins ends up stopping him. And then he has a shotgun to his face. No, before that, Darius walks through the house, finds Teddy watching old videos of himself when he was a kid, and how demanding his father was, and how angry he would get when he messed up a dance move. Then he put out this big shotgun. He holding it to him. He finna kill him and frame him for holding old dude down in the attic, I think. And yeah, and he just like and he just like I feel sorry for you and all that kind of stuff. And he was just like, I just wish you could have felt the love. Then I really like because Teddy Perkins says all great things come from pain, and then Darius is like, no, he said great things come from love. I wish you could have felt the love. I wish your father would have given you more love. I wish it didn't have to be this way for you. But Teddy's kind of too far gone. He's just crazy, and he's gone at that point. and then the other one comes up, and he calls him, I think, Teddy. So there's like complication on like which one is the real Teddy Perkins. Then the dude grabs a shotgun that Teddy sat down, shoots him before shooting himself, and then Darius leaves, and it's ended over the song by Stevie Wonder. I forgot what song it was, but this episode's so great because like it ends, and like Darius wouldn't be able to leave if it was like a real thing, but he just drives off as they're like pulling the bodies out of this very sad and strange occurrence, and it's a double murder or double homicide, and Darius just gets to leave, and that shows you just like just like this stuff kind of happens almost as if it didn't happen, but it did, and that's kind of the the spontaneity of the outer Atlanta or greater Georgia area. Like anything could happen. It ain't just gangs. It's like all this other stuff. It ain't just like trap music either. It's just all this stuff. And it's a wonderful episode. It's super sad, and that Stevie Wonder song at the end is great. Uh, Another prodigy who started at a young age, who lost his sight, and so he just had to go through his life hearing things that are seeing them, and that it all plays in. It's just like it's wonderful, and it's the best episode of that show, and it kind of goes right back to the story afterwards. Like I don't think it has any like semblance of relating to the stories or the larger overarching stories at hand. It just shows you this guy going to this place, encountering a strange person, almost dying, but it has so much heart, and you learn so much, and has so many themes and structures about it. It's the best episode of that show to me. It's one of the best episodes of TV in general. It's perfect, and I think it's the best bottle episode of Teddy Perkins of Atlanta. And everybody talked about it, man. Y'all know that episode.
People love it. Um,
What's show number one?
so like I said, I talked about how I think great bottle episodes kind of encapsulate everything that a show does well while also keeping it condensed. And what I don't think this is my favorite episode of the show, but this is definitely the episode of the show that I think kind of has everything in it that perfectly represents why I love it so much. And this episode is next, Halt and Catch Fire, the season 3 finale. The entire episode takes place in the old offices of Mutiny, so it's in like this big open space floor plan office space that's empty except for a table and some chairs. And we have the main characters except for Boz, so the main coding and idea people: Joe McMillan, Donna Emerson, Clark. Damn, what's his name? Damn, Gordon Clark and Cameron Howe, and then her husband who crashes the party. But they're all in there to talk about the future of tech and like where they see it going. It's amazing. I There are scenes online of just like the speeches that are given in this episode, and that stuff I can watch forever. They're just sitting around, hanging out, telling jokes, talking about what's the next thing, right? And then Joe comes up with this idea of like the World Wide Web is growing, and people are starting to use it for real. It's going to be a consumer product soon, and there has to be a way for the average person to access the internet in some feasible way. And they talk about code. They talk about how to use the code in a way to make it accessible to normal people. Specifically, they talk about, which is, you can find this on YouTube. Joe McMillan gives a speech about the browser, which is essentially the bridge used to get the normal person into the internet in a way that they can engage with it, so they don't have to know code at all. So like the same way you and I now use Google Chrome like a browser, they're talking about it like before it even existed. So they're like, they talk about like the idea of what it would represent, how you would like click on it and then immediately be access to it, and then you would have to then find your way through the internet. It's phenomenal because the episode takes place in 1990, I believe. So it's right before the beginning of Yahoo, Netscape, all this stuff. And the first browsers were on the market before people started having computers in their homes. So it's right before all that happens, and it's like, because you can see the future they're talking about. You can see them talking about like, yeah, but once we start making browsers, that's when people can really start to use the internet to make their own websites. They can use the browsers to make the internet whatever they want it to be. And it's these beautiful speeches and these beautiful concepts about like well, we don't have to tell the internet what to be. We create the browser, and the user tells us what it wants to be. They fill it with all their ideas and their hopes and their dreams. It's next level. It never have I seen like people talk about the potential of like the internet in such like a beautiful way, and that's kind of what the final season of the show is about. It's about like using the internet to find people like you to like cultivate a following to create like hubs of information so that people can not only use an algorithm to get where they're going but to like find somewhere where they feel safe and feel seen and feel represented. And this episode is kind of a lead into the final season because it is the finale of season 3. um, but so much of it is about like, well, how do we do this? It's not possible. Nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's ever like usually things are on a closed system. We created video games on computers. We to like to hone in on the internet, you have to create something that is accessible, is attractive, and is user friendly. And all those things have to work, and all those things have to be. Uh, Everyone has to agree upon what the means of which using that is. It's next level. I mean, obviously in there too is like relationship stuff, like who's dating who, and like deception, and like who betrays who. That kind of stuff still lingers, but for the most part, the episode is strictly about these extremely smart people in tech talking about what's the next step into like how to engage with the internet right before the internet became a thing that existed for everyone. And so part of it is great because we know how it ends up. We live in the present and they live in the past. But also it really makes you think about like the kind of optimism that could have been had at the start of that thing, and like all the great stuff about it. So yeah.
Well, that's our bottle episodes. I was trying to find an episode of Success, not Succession. I don't think they have a bottle. Otherwise, that definitely would have got on here. I was looking for an episode to try to get it on, but man, I love that show. But I was thinking about the Chernobyl episode where they go to kill the dogs, and I didn't know if that was just that episode. I think that more stuff happened than just that, but that whole part when they go trying to kill the dogs because they could be or kill all the animals that are infected. That episode is super sad
Mm-hmm.
because it just it's like these soldiers and they're just like going like, got to put these dogs down, and that episode's crazy. I love Chernobyl, but yeah, it was really good. It's good stuff.
Some other
Real quick before we get out of here,
yeah.
talk about Succession.
Oh, no, I was just gonna mention a few others. College, The Sopranos. People typically mention Palm Barrens, but I think College is a better example of a bottle episode, and just really hones in on it. There is an episode of that show about Tony's therapist, and it's all from her perspective. And I forget the name of it, but that was a great episode as well. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Said Take on Me, the Degrassi one. Just want to reiterate, great episode. Uh, the season finale of She's Gotta Have It season 1, Nola's Choice 3, The Hard Way. That episode is essentially just a remake of the movie, and I think it's better, way better than the movie. And basically, all takes place in Nola's apartment and her dealing with the 3 suitors. Right?
Cappy.
Love that episode. Some Always Sunny ones are good. There's an episode of Room 104, which that whole show is essentially bottle episodes. Every episode takes place in one room of a hotel, so they're all bottles. But there's one called The Man and the Baby and the Man, starring Josephine Decker, the director of Madeline's Madeline, but she's also a really good actress. Um, and she directed Shirley. But that episode, very strange. A lot of nudity, a lot of sex being had. Very strange. Again, there's a whole plot point where the dude, where the main character, where they're having sex, the main character pulls out and comes on her stomach. She takes the cum and shoves it up her vagina. Very strange episode, but very good and very funny. So check it out. Okay.
All right. So the Succession, we did some rewatching today because I romanticized the first season so much. I mean the second season. I didn't think much about the first other than I can't give it away, but the ending of the first season. So I went back and watched some, and I was like, man, this season is so much better than I remember. And I was like, man, this show is just King Lear, Oedipus. It's all the Greek tragedy. It's all the betrayals. It's all of the deceits and the backstabber. It's all that. And I was like, man, get this show 2 or 3 more seasons. It's gonna be up there. If y'all consider Mad Men an all time great, Succession gonna be up there. I've already seen people say it like it's already one of those shows that you could put in the pantheons of like of moving television forward. I watched some of season 1, and I don't think season 1 is better than season 2. I watched some of season 1. I'm like, damn, it can beat a lot of other shows by itself. Then you put season 2 in it, it's like, all right, well, hey, it's ridiculous. That's how I feel about this show. To even compare Succession and Billions, I ain't gonna do Billions like that because we like Billions. But I'm just saying, bro, like,
A lot of people like Billions. Billions is a really popular show.
no, I like Billions a lot. I
And well
really do.
reviewed.
I wish that season was done so we could. It was starting to get really interesting, but it ain't, bro. Succession different, man. Succession is different. It's unlike any show I've seen, and I don't be watching shows like that. But I mean, I don't know. It made me want to watch The West Wing. I will say that I've been wanting to watch this show though. And that was another Bible episode. People was talking about 17 hours, I think.
Mm.
The show written by Aaron Sorkin. So, and you know how we feel about him. So,
You still
but
need,
yes,
you still got to see Molly's Game, bro. It's a good movie.
I do. But yeah, Succession is just is next level. Especially Jeremy Strong. He's just, if he don't be in a super, like, I ain't gonna say he's a superstar like movie actor, but he I know he getting some roles. He gonna be in the new Trial of the Chicago 7. If he don't get a lot of roles from this, I don't know what. I just don't know what can, because he's so good in that show early on. Like, you go back and watch, I was like, it ain't like he came on in the second season. He was good from the beginning, bro. He was killing it. It's just it is crazy, that show, man. If you haven't watched it yet, anybody listening or Ian, y'all need to go watch it right now. Succession on HBO. It's the best show on TV, man. Best show on TV.
You know what I think is the best show on TV.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Nah.
Yeah, okay.
Can't be Hawk because that show gone off TV. So.
No, we already talked about it.
What, Fleabag?
She's not doing any more Fleabag.
Exactly.
It's a Better Call Saul. Best show on television.
I thought you were gonna say it's on Pen 15.
I need to watch that though.
I was listening to the Sarah Snook who plays Shiv on Succession. She was on the Mark Maron pod. She said her favorite show right
She's
now
a
is
great actress. A great actress.
she's really dope.
Love
She
her.
said her favorite show right now is Pen. Mark Maron said he loves it too.
Yeah. He interviewed the girls who wrote it and star in it, and yeah, it looks so fun. I really want to watch it. New season coming out soon. But yeah. I mean, you know me, man. I think you need to watch Fleabag though. At least that episode I mentioned.
I think you need to watch Succession.
I mean, yeah, I will eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, I said I will. Are we done here?
What movie you looking forward to in the next few weeks?
I'm looking forward to. I'm thinking of ending things fairly soon.
But that's already out. So
Exactly. So pretty hype.
I mean, coming to the theater. Yay!
I ain't seeing nothing anytime soon.
Yes, you are. You gotta go back to the movie.
No. No.
You gotta do. You can't let Hilda push you around.
If probably the next thing I'm looking forward to is Wonder Woman 1984. Movie looks fun. What about you?
Definitely ain't that. But I think the Trial of the Chicago 7 still coming out this year. Should be fairly soon. Outside of theaters, Mank. I don't know when that's coming, but yeah.
I mean, that's not a theatrically released movie though.
I said outside of theaters.
Oh.
Hold on real quick. Yes,
If that's the case, Rebecca for sure. That's probably my most hyped, you know, Netflix movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. So excited. What about Devil All the Time? You know, that looks good. And some other good stuff, I'm sure.
Trying to find that list I have pulled up.
Oh.
Sorry. Oh, here you go.
Oh my head.
Shut your mouth.
No.
I'm saying New Mutants. I don't want to see the Kingsman. Oh, Candyman in
The
October.
Kingsman coming out next year though.
No, it's not. I've seen. Oh, that was the other trailer.
No, it's coming out next year.
Kingsman is coming out this year, dude.
It is not.
It's coming out September 18th.
It is not.
Okay. Didn't we just see a trailer for that?
I promise you, it's not.
Yeah, okay.
It's
We
not.
just saw a trailer for that, didn't we? Didn't we? So now, go against him.
No, I can't be just lying.
But we did.
I ain't sure.
You saw it. We discussed it.
She said she don't know.
She saw it.
I'll tell you that movie's coming
No, I
out.
really can't remember.
Okay.
They moved that movie back, bro. It's coming out.
No, they didn't, dude. We just saw a trailer for it.
Oh, okay. Go look up the when it's coming out then.
So whose movie we just saw? Whose trailer we just saw?
I don't fucking know.
That was it.
Gentleman 2. Go look it up though. Tell me if I'm wrong.
It say 2020.
What is that? What's the date?
It says September 16, 2020.
It's not coming out.
Well, you lying or they lying?
They lying. Disney said it's coming out February next year.
I might have lied.
Yeah.
But we did see that trailer. I don't know why you said be quiet. You said
Look, we just seen a lot.
No.
That last time we went, we saw so many freaking trailers.
I saw that one specifically.
All right, Capper.
And why are you showing the trailer if it ain't coming out?
Pac-Man on the track is a slapper.
I didn't say we didn't. I was like,
yeah, she didn't know.
No, she knew. She don't support me. It's fine. But Candyman, October 16th.
Yeah. Sorry for that.
Death on the Nile.
I was just excited to see Tayana and anything, you know what I mean?
No, not really.
Tayana really getting them roles though. You know she in that new Boyega Jamie Foxx joint.
That don't sound that good either. But
that don't sound good.
It don't sound good. No.
Oh, well, I'm excited for it.
Of course you are.
Shout out to Tayana to Paris. Should have been a movie star by now.
But the movie that's the biggest movie of these next 5 months is Dune without a doubt.
Wonder Woman 1984.
You don't even believe it, so
I do. I will say this though, they need to I don't know why they didn't just be like that Dune trailer's dropping Monday. Why they gotta be like it's dropping Thursday? Like
they want you to get excited.
I'm saying like it matters when it drops. You know what I mean?
They want you to be excited.
But how am I gonna be more excited on a Thursday? It's dropping Monday.
But yeah, Dune is my most anticipated this year. Your movie got pushed back, didn't it? The Edgar Wright movie.
My movie.
Yeah, Last Night in Soho.
I mean, everything got pushed back, didn't it?
Not really.
I think everything got pushed back. Oh my goodness. Man, I am tired. All right, we done, bro?
Yeah, imagine.
Great.
It was a good pod. Good pod.
Make sure I'm thinking of ending things, you know. Let me know
when you want to watch it. I'm asking Jazz when she gonna watch it. I'm thinking of ending things. Yeah. You said you do. Yeah, you said I love Charlie Coffin. And you said she hates Charlie. He trash.
Okay. What they
I know
got
you
to make?
hot. I know you hot.
That man ain't paying my bills.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
That
Money good.
man gay.
I hate an old limp dick riding ass bitch. Um, money good.
Did you sign off yet?
Oh shit, no.
Placeholder. Appreciate y'all. Next time we're gonna do a dissertation.
Nope.
Uh,
Nope.
why?
So we're not doing that.
Why?
I'm tired.
What you tired of, nigger?
Tired of that for sure.
I ain't asked what you tired of, monkey.
Money good.
You gay boy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Boy, you crazy.
No, you a bigot.
Nah, you crazy.
So you ain't a bigot?
No,
Okay.
I love everybody.
Money good.
I've been to A Mike. This is Ian, and we're gonna see y'all next time. Placeholder. Yeah.